Macroeconomic Analysis at the Roosevelt Institute, and he joins me now from Washington, D.C. I've been wanting to talk to you about this to help us answer this question, right? So we just had three of the causes, but why is inflation still so high? And is price gouging by companies contributing to it significantly?
Yeah, absolutely. So we knew corporate profits were quite high from kind of aggregate data and from things like earning calls. But it wasn't until just recently we finally had the data on last year's corporate accounting sheets. We were able to look at them, and not only just last year, but over the decades past. We found that their profit margins were incredibly high, the highest they've been since at least the 1950s. Now, being able to go in deeper and kind of look at each, sector by sector, industry by industry, we found that basically corporations were able to raise their profit margins across the board. So that implies that demand story we just talked about, but also that some industries saw really large markups, really large increases in their profit rates that imply that there's something going on with supply chains or other forms of sector-specific interruptions. And then finally, those firms that had the biggest profit margins right before the pandemic increased their margins a little bit more, and those prices are passed on to people. So it's a good question of how much those trends are continuing. We don't have that data in real time, but we do know how these resolve will have huge implications for families in our economy.
And when you say how they resolve, I think there is that anger, and everybody has experienced this depending on the product, right? You see it, whether it's your plane ticket or anything like this, it skyrockets. They blame, a million different things. But then when things kind of smooth out, supply chains, or there's less demand, it just is persistent. The cost does not go down in lockstep the way it went up. What do you see happening now in the next few months with that?
Sure. So those profit margins, there are two things that could happen, or three things could happen. One is that they could just persist. They could end up as huge paydays for shareholders and bonuses, CEOs. Prices could come down. They could moderate. They could slow in their rate of increase, certainly, or they could be eaten into by things by energy costs or labor. And though the third would not bring down prices, it means prices wouldn't increase based on those kinds of pressures, which would be beneficial. It means that there's some room for those to calm down and bring down the rate of inflation that we would have seen otherwise.
So and I know you've seen it, there's been this big debate, right, about whether corporate greed explains at least a little bit of our inflation woes. I mean, I don't call it corporate greed, I actually call it market weakness, right, ineffectiveness. But it definitely plays a role in inflation. Now, the president has been adamant that companies have been too quick to take advantage of, price gouging when they have that market strength. Is he right? Because Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, shot back so quickly on social media saying that the White House just doesn't understand economics. So which is it?
Well, I think with inflation as high as it is and with it as broad as it is, it's not going to be one story. So, corporate price gouging, corporate greed, market weakness, competition weakness, that's not the sole story, and it's not the majority of the story, but it is an important part of the story. And as the U.S. government thinks of a whole of government approach, whether it's trying to bolster our supply chains, trying to invest in infrastructure, whether it's weakening demand through raising interest rates through the Federal Reserve, we also need competition policy to be part of the answer. Because inflation is such an important thing for everyday families and the stresses that they're feeling. It requires a big approach, and this needs to be part of it.
Yeah, given the lobbyists in Congress and everything else, I'm not so sure that anti-competitive policy is actually going to save us all that soon. But I did want to ask you, where do you see inflation going? Because I know what a deep dive you do on the data, and it is a debate. Have we peaked in inflation, or do you see it rising a lot?
So unfortunately, a lot of people use year-over-year measurements. And last summer was particularly an odd summer for inflation. It was the first of the reopenings. It's where auto prices skyrocketed. I think that's a really poor baseline to look year over year. If you look since October, or certainly since January, what you see is that core inflation is about 5%. In addition, because of the war in Ukraine, food and energy prices have gone incredibly volatile and gotten very high. Now, within inflation, we see it basically at about 5%. Now it's becoming a little bit more broader. It's becoming a little bit more in services and especially in housing. But we know the Fed's already started normalizing. It's put a lot of constraint into the economy already. So we see house prices coming down. We see housing start to stop. We see some indications of weakness in the labor market. So there's already been a pretty big tightening, and inflation has not been increasing since the beginning of the year. So I think there's a lot of room for it to come down with the actions already taken. I'm actually far more worried that the Fed overreacts and causes an unnecessary recession than whether or not inflation increases more. There's a really good and valid and important question about how fast it will come down. But I do believe the peak is behind us in terms of core inflation, and that we're going to see some moderation in the near future.
Right, that will be good news to many people listening to this program and many people who have to go grocery shopping or buy a plane ticket soon. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. That was very informative.